Welcome to the Breaking Hyman podcast. My guest today is Keith Van Winkle.
Yeah, the check cleared, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I direct deposited it. So
Yeah, cool.
It's, yeah, man. So you started, I didn't know what your real name was for a minute.
Yeah.
You were given a gift at birth. You know that, right? Your name, Keith Van Winkle, it might as well be old man's name Von Penis.
Oh.
Like it's
pretty close.
Morgan Hyman, female name / pussy.
Yeah.
You know, so having a funny name, but you were going by V.W. Thomas. Is it just kind of an anonymity thing at first?
It was more of a, I don't think, it was like I wanted to, kind of do like a Slim Shady alter ego thing.
I gotcha.
And then I was like, I'd rather go by a different, I just didn't want to hear my name.
I hear you. Well, and this isn't anything. This is something you're just doing for fun, right?
Yeah. No expectations, but
yeah. Well,
I expect everything.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You're graduating from college. You're moving to Colorado. You know, you got your whole life ahead of you. I'm probably going to be dead in a year. You know, so I'm doing what I can while I can. But so what brought you to stand up initially? What made you decide?
I took a bite right as you
asked. Yeah, eat some Funyuns on mic. That's cool.
Great. Funyuns.
Have the masters on your phone. Yeah.
Exactly. It's priorities. No, I started just because I was like, I want to do something that I can enjoy.
Yeah. Besides the girlfriend.
Yeah. And I'd always been a fan of stand-up.
Sure.
And never really thought I could because all I'd seen was specials.
Right. So you'd never been to a live comedy show? Nothing?
No, nothing.
Really?
I mean, other than like on a cruise ship or something like that.
Gotcha.
So I didn't really know like club comedy. Then I found Kill Tony. It blew up. Started watching that.
Yeah.
And
you're like, I'm funnier than these dumbasses.
It wasn't even that. It was, I saw the worst bombing that could possibly have happened. And I was like, I can handle that.
Yes.
Let's go. And
so, I can do this in front of 10 people. Those guys can do it in front of hundreds, maybe thousands sometimes in those big arena shows. Yeah, it's funny how Kill Tony. I didn't even know what Kill Tony was when I first started doing stand up 3 years ago. I've always was a fan since. I mean, I remember watching like Gallagher when I was a kid, and then I got into like all that stuff. Chappelle when I was in high school, and Patton Oswalt, David Cross, Brian Posehn, and started going to see live comedy probably my late 20s, early 30s when I was out of town because. No comedy clubs in Lubbock. No. There was back in the day when there was a comedy club in every mid-sized city up until like the 90s. And they all closed. The comedy boom was over.
It's kind of a shame that there isn't one up here. That's because when I looked, I was looking to see if there was a club here, and it didn't show. The best it showed me was the Lantern.
Yeah.
So I checked that out.
Yeah, and then started coming to Bar PM, the better show.
The better show, unless the Lantern is better that week.
Yeah, no, it's real hit and miss. Sometimes Lantern has a better week. Sometimes we have a better week. I think we had a better one this week, maybe.
I did better at the Lantern.
You did better at the Lantern?
I murdered at the Lantern.
Yeah, I left early. I missed it. I'm sorry I did.
Yeah, in Bar PM, I kind of ate a big bag of dicks.
Hey, you know what? That's what Bar PM is for. That's what all open mics are for, is just eating all the dicks.
I found Lantern can be better if it is more of a comic crowd and less of a just bar people crowd.
Yeah.
Bar PM, if it's just random people who just happen to be in the bar, those days are when it kind of rocks.
Yeah. It's fun. And you never got to do the Cafe J mic, did you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that one ended.
It was still around when I started, but I was like, I don't want to go.
Yeah, that died for many reasons. Many reasons. I'd like to say I'm responsible because I just stopped going. I was effectively for a little while banned from Laugh Hub City shows. I got unbanned somehow, but I just stopped going. And a lot of the guys that are friends with me, they're like, "Well,
if he ain't going, I'm going."
Yeah, exactly. So and plus some other stuff happened. We won't get into it, but we need more shows here.
Yeah,
but
I wish.
Yeah, I'm trying to do as much. We're doing the 420 thing. I'd like to get you on one of those before you leave, but we'll talk about that after. But
I need to go out and actually spread awareness for the cause I came here to spread awareness for, which is hot air balloon deaths. It kills almost 1 Americans every year.
Almost one?
Almost 1 Americans every year.
One Americans?
One Americans.
I love how you pluralized one Americans. As many as 0.5 percentage points. Is that a joke or you actually?
No, I just thought.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
dude, have you ever been in a hot air balloon?
no.
So I'm going to. I might have talked to you about this. I'm going to Turkey this this summer, and there's a place called Cappadocia that's a few hours from Istanbul, like train, bus, something, and they're known for like the hot air balloons there. It's like kind of like the Albuquerque, you know, festival.
Fest.
Yeah, and I'm like, ooh, that looks cool, but I don't know if I can afford that. And plus, I'm kind of afraid of heights. I saw this movie.
It's not the heights that'll kill you. Yeah. It's the hitting the ground.
Yeah. Okay, one of my favorite historical things. I think this happened in France in the late 1800s. These two guys were like French gay guys or something, and they're like, "We're gonna have a duel, but we're gonna do it in hot air balloons." So the two of them, they had their second, you know, the guy who loads the gun for them. And they were both in hot air balloons, and they just shot each other out of the sky. And the first one that got the balloon, in
That's
him and
his,
because you got to be a good buddy to go up there with your friend. Because it's like, well, if he dies, I die. So
you better trust in this
shot. Yeah. So I learned about that in one of my history classes. I'm an American history guy.
Did you like my Quantrill joke yesterday that I made? That was pretty good.
That was good. That was good. Yeah. Yeah. I've tried to make history jokes and stuff. You know, I had this 3/5 compromise joke that I did last week. I think maybe you were the only one that laughed at it.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny, but yeah, that kind of stuff never really hits that hard.
The only time I got a history joke that I came up with actually worked was it just happened to work in conversation. But I was with my buddy who teaches U.S. history at Coronado.
Oh, okay.
And he had said something about, I guess, the French, and I was like, yeah. And I basically turned into like the French surrendering as soon as the Germans showed up, and he thought it was a funny thing. I can't remember exactly what I said at the time.
Yeah, cheese eating surrender monkeys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to go to France. I didn't know until fairly recently that unofficially, America owns the beach at Normandy. That is like, because like the French are like, well, we wouldn't have that if it weren't for you. I mean, America hasn't like, but if I ever go there, I'm going to be like, I own this shit.
Yeah, this is mine.
I'm going to take a dump right here. I'm going to... You know, my grandpa my grandpa was drafted in World War II. He was not there on D-Day.
Yeah, like 0.0001% of my tax dollar pays for this beach.
Exactly. So you're moving to Colorado here in a few weeks. Why did you choose Colorado, or is that just where you found a job first?
Well, so my two rules for finding a job was either convenient to home or somewhere super cool that I would have to go to now.
Well, it's not convenient to home.
It's very not. Those are the two things. So
yeah,
I was looking either I-35 corridor or front range. So
yeah, and
Arizona, Colorado, northern New Mexico, Wyoming.
Awesome. Well, I can tell you right now, Wyoming sucks. I was married to a woman from Wyoming. And
depends on where. I've been to some pretty dope places.
Okay. Let's see. Northeastern Wyoming.
Yeah, that sucks.
Next to South Dakota. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those people are weird. It's ugly. I mean, it's not ugly compared to here, but it's ugly compared to like the rest of Wyoming. Yeah. Bighorn Mountains, and so they're all right. But it's you've been up there a lot.
We went in 2013. 14.
Oh, you would have been.
No, I was 13. I went in 2015.
Okay.
We did 5 days of backpacking up in the Popoachi range or wilderness in the Wind River Range.
Okay. What cities are near there? I don't even know.
The closest was like
cities.
The closest was a town called Lander.
Okay.
And we had like we basically, to get there, we went like Cheyenne to Laramie and then like kind of cut across towards Grand Teton, but not quite all the way there.
Laramie, I think, is the only major city in Wyoming that I've not been to. I've been to Cheyenne, Gillette, what's the other one? Casper, Cody.
I do want to go to Cody. I got a cousin who lives up there.
One of the best history museums ever is the Buffalo Bill Museum. That place is amazing. I would highly recommend that to anybody.
I'm a big Buffalo Bill Cody guy.
Yeah. Oh, all of the. Have you watched that movie Buffalo Bill and the Indians? It has Paul Newman. It's from the late '70s. It's Paul Newman plays Buffalo. It's basically him doing the Wild West show.
Gotcha.
It's his Wild West show. Period. So I would recommend that. But yeah, that museum rules. Okay. So what's I know you're from the San Antonio area. What was life like for young Van Winkle?
I mean, typical white kid.
I mean, there is no typical white kid.
That's fair. I mean,
not anymore.
not really anymore. Well, typical mid 2000s growing up.
Okay. Okay.
You know, did the normal things. Did elementary school. Didn't really do too much then. But like middle school was in the band. Played tennis through high school.
Well, you're more of a Western sort of dude. The cowboy boots. You wear a hat a lot.
That didn't really start till I got up here.
Oh, really?
I would always wear boots in high school, but it wasn't like this exact. It was more just regular t-shirt.
Yeah, so you weren't like rodeo or anything, rodeo team, nothing like that. See, that's what I assume.
My best friends were.
Oh, okay.
I did not because I didn't have the time, money, or commitment for it.
Right. So big family.
Big family.
How many siblings you got?
I only have 3.
Only three. Only three.
No, that's right. I'm only one of 3.
That's okay. One of 3. Okay.
I said that wrong.
Where do you fall in the order?
I'm first.
Okay.
And then 2 younger sisters. My mom has 3 siblings. There's 11 grandkids total.
All Catholic?
Very Catholic family.
Okay, got it. German Catholic?
Irish.
Irish Catholic. Oh, Van Winkle. Duh. Yeah, that's Van Winkle.
It's a Dutch. That side of the family. That side of the family is. That side of the family is. That is the Catholic one was Callahan.
Okay. Got it.
But.
So where is all the family in that area in San Antonio?
Yeah, so we all live within like a 20-minute drive.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
That's
and mostly in part due to my great grandma who passed away fall of 22.
Oh wow, okay.
She kept all her kids very close.
Yeah.
Some of the distant cousins have kind of stopped coming around as much. I'll see them all this coming weekend for Easter.
Oh, fun.
And then really distant cousins, like I know literally on Saturday, I will see my 4th cousins.
Do y'all have a family reunion every Easter? Or is it just...
Easter, Christmas, beach trip, every other Wednesday, whatever people want to get together.
It's funny because my family, my mom's side of the family, the Bishops, very English, they're all around Olney. That's where the family is based out of. They're everywhere now. They're in, Dallas, Fort Worth, Lubbock. Yeah. Oklahoma, everywhere. But they have been doing a family reunion every Easter weekend since 1959.
Wow.
I don't like going as much since my grandpa died in 2019. I've been a few times. We didn't do it for a few years because of COVID. Because Well,
we still did it COVID, but we didn't.
Yeah.
We kind of did.
How many of you are there like that will be around this next weekend?
Coming and going. So it starts Saturday noon-ish, and we'll go till about Sunday noon-ish.
Okay, cool.
And in that, we'll hang out at really till like 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. But how many people? Like including aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents?
Between noon and noon, there will probably be in and out around 100 people who will either show up and leave or whatever.
Yeah, that's how my family reunion is. I'm not going to be there, but
I was like, because it's kind of we go down, we get lunch, kind of separately, but we all kind of meet.
Yeah.
We call it E's house because that's where my great grandma was named E. So we meet at her house, and we drive to the south side of San Antonio to. I guess one of E's distant cousins has property out there, and they let us pick along their entry road. There's wildflowers that grow out throughout it.
That's fun.
And so we pick wildflowers, have a big picnic.
Damn.
Kids, we host races on the track on that dirt road.
Oh man, that sounds great.
Drink beer all afternoon, and then we go back to E's house. We usually get there right around sunset.
Yeah.
And those flowers we picked, we make little nests out of them, and that's where our Easter basket shows up.
That's all. That sounds very quaint. Yeah, the family reunion. Yeah, and you were saying like way distant cousins. Yeah, same. Like 4th and 5th cousins. I know. It's funny because it started. my great grandparents, like my grandpa and somebody else was like, "Hey, we should start doing a family reunion because our the mom and dad are going to die soon."
Yeah.
They lived for another 20 plus years. They were alive until my great grandpa until the 80s, my great grandmother until the 90s. She lived to be 99, and then it just spread.
Yeah.
Like from my grandpa's one of 8, and then all their kids, all their kids, all their kids, and it's like my grandpa. When he died in 2019, he had at least 3 great-great-grandchildren. It's crazy, but my cousins like to have kids young. One of my cousins was a grandmother at age 39. So
it was either last or second to last Easter. We did get a picture of 5 generations.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So, that's cool. I think that's you don't see that as often in the whites.
No,
Hispanic families absolutely.
Well,
yeah, because they're having babies when they're 15. It's like, oh, I'm a great grandmother and I'm 45.
Oh well, that's what when I was on Roy's with That's what we said that it was like Iz could technically be a grandpa.
Oh, he's going to be. His daughter is pregnant.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah,
I saw it on Facebook just the other day. They announced I think they're having a girl.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean his I think he was like 16 or 17 when his daughter was born. So he will not even be 40 when he becomes a grandfather. Yeah. So it happens. It happens. I mean, whereas me, I'm over here, didn't even fucking lose my virginity till I was 23. So yeah, crazy.
Yep.
Crazy. But yeah, I've dated women that are grandmothers. It's nuts. They're like my age.
Yeah.
So, but best to get that shit out of the way. So, are you going to be visiting Lubbock, I guess, because you said your girlfriend's doing
my
masters.
girlfriend's going to do her MBA down here. Yeah. And
so she's going to be making all the money. You're going to be dicking around on golf courses.
We'll see. She doesn't really know exactly what she's going to do with it. I think she's just delaying the inevitable of having to be an adult.
I delayed it as long as I could, and I still don't really feel like I'm a real adult. I mean, I'm talking in front of a camera on a green screen right now. It won't be green later. You're not wearing anything green, no,
dude. I was so convinced. I was very tempted to wear like that color green shirt.
It would have been
just to mess around.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened before. One of the guys I do improv with came and he was wearing some Baylor shit, and I'm like, okay, Noah, your hat's gonna be. But I don't have many green clothes, so I never
pulled like Brick and Anchorman.
Yeah,
93.
Is that from the second one?
I think that's the second one.
Yeah, okay. I've only seen the first Anchorman, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
But what you said you like stand up growing up? Who were your guys or gals?
So actually the first. It was 7th grade, I think. It was 6th or 7th grade. One of my best friends at the time, he showed me Bill Burr's "You People Are All the Same."
That's such a awesome thing to see in 7th grade.
It was. What was better is I didn't know why it was funny. I just knew it was funny.
Did you have a point of reference for it at all?
No, he just like, watch this guy. It's funny. And I was like, okay. And
look at this angry Irish guy.
Yeah, look at this angry redhead. And I was like, cool. And I like tried telling people the jokes that I heard.
Sure.
And because I was like, he's funny. I want to figure out why he's funny. And from there, like Bill Burr, and then I got in like the Blue Collar Tour, and
that's kind of what I was expecting you to say.
Well, and then my dad was a big Jim Gaffigan guy.
Oh yeah,
Still
Jim
is a big Gaffigan guy.
It's great. I was so mad. I had a COVID scare. I had tickets to see Jim Gaffigan in Amarillo, and I couldn't go because I was like, I might have COVID. Yeah. I didn't, but. It was still during.
A few years ago, I'm guessing.
It's a few years ago.
I was gonna say if this was recently, I was like,
no.
We're past that.
It was like 2000. It was before I got divorced, so it would have been like 22, 21, 22. Yeah.
So
Gaffigan.
High school, early high school, because Bill Burr came out with a podcast with Bert Kreischer for they had 10 episodes of it.
Oh, really?
Never really took off.
I don't think I ever listened to that.
I don't even know if they still have it up.
Yeah.
And I listened to that and then came across a clip of 2 bears that I really liked and made me laugh. And I think it was the Jennifer Aniston story or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so I started watching that and then got into Kreischer, Segura. And that took me down that rabbit hole of all those guys that are in Austin now.
Yeah. That's have you ever thought about trying to do Kill Tony?
Yeah, I was really mad when I was home for Christmas. It was that Monday after New Year's.
Yeah.
I debated driving up there, but it was all gross wet winter weather. I don't want to drive up 35 in that.
Yeah. It's a fun experience. I don't know if I'd do it again unless I was with a lot of a lot of people. But I'm actually going to try and get on an open mic at the Sunset Strip Comedy Club, which is the one that
because they have one like almost every day. Every day,
yeah,
I think there's like one every day
I mean,
Sundays.
Austin, there's multiple open mics. There are comics that I'm friends with down there, and they're like, you can do like 3 or 4 mics a night if you want.
If the show kind of plateaus and doesn't really grow as much, which I doubt it does, it might be worth trying to like get up there and get on. Because there's been a couple episodes recently that came out that were like, like 197 people. I was like, okay, that's a lot better odds. And the next week it'll be right after a clip blows up.
Yeah.
And 300 people will sign up.
Yeah. There were around 200 each night when me and Angel went back at New Year's. But yeah, did you watch the Netflix Kill Tony thing?
No, because Netflix is the worst and won't let me use it up here because I'm on my dad's account.
Okay.
I don't like freeloaders.
I started it and I couldn't. It's so cringy to me.
Really?
I would not have watched the show. Like I don't know if I've ever watched a full episode of it.
Oh, really?
Because I don't.
I watch it every week. I love it.
Okay, I did watch it when they had the Biden when they had
Adam Ray
as Biden and Gillis is Trump. Like I will watch that kind of thing where it's. But most of the time,
going on within the
comics
show.
are terrible.
They're all bad. I'm like, did you not prepare?
Yeah, no, and I mean, if it's half and half, like half good, half bad, that's a good night. But when we went, we saw so many terrible comics. And they would boo them, the crowd, the section of comics. They'd be like, "Oh, I've never done stand up before," and my husband's a fan of the show, and we're like, "Boo!" And they can't even do their jokes, because like there was this one kid, he sucked so much. I actually talked to him while we were waiting in line.
New Year's?
Yeah, New Year's. Yeah, this one kid, he's like this short, kind of stoner-looking kid with long hair, and he starts to tell his jokes. And the audience is booing him, and he looks at Tony. He's like, "What do I do?" And Tony's like, "Talk to them, not me." Mm-hmm. Like they do not know what to do. Well, like you can't go on stage for the first time in front of 8,000 people.
No, and like, because originally I saw the show and I was like, maybe I'll start working and I'll try and get down there, and that'll be my first time up.
Yeah.
Like then I realized that's probably stupid. And then, but there was one episode I can't remember when it was, but someone was like, "Yeah, this is my first time." Or no. There was one person that was like, "Yeah, it's my first time," and Red Ben just finally goes, "If it's your first time, don't sign up." Like, and then another time, someone was like, "Well, that's not my." Or every time someone's like, "That's not my best joke. It's just the newest jokes. I wanted to try them out." Like, that's not the place you try out new jokes.
And I have friends that like my friend Eric Gallegos. He's been on I think a couple of times, but he was doing like brand new jokes when he went up, and I'm like, dude, you know better than that.
Maybe if it's like if you somehow get on back-to-back weeks.
The
first. You get up there, you better hit your A-listers.
Yeah. No, I had my set ready to go but I mean, newer comics, and when I say newer, people that have been doing that, like I'm a newer comic, comparatively speaking. I'll be doing this 3 years in July. That you always think your newest jokes are your best jokes, but that is not the case. That is definitely not the case. You want to make sure that material is tested, that people laugh at it, but. It's hard. So what inspires your comedy? Because you've got a lot of stories, about stuff with friends and things.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's me spending 8 hours a day on the golf course trying to entertain myself. Mm-hmm. And my logic is if my own thoughts can make myself laugh, write them down. And so that's why some of them are stories, and then some of them are just set up punch,
Yeah, I've tried to do the story thing. I'm not great at it.
I want to get better at the story thing. Like Ron White, not to name drop. I mean,
no, he's one of the best.
He's probably the best.
Story comic. Yeah,
still working at least.
Yeah.
Just the way, because I saw him live over New Year's.
Oh, nice. Where at?
Windstar Casino.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It was 2 days before.
Is that the one in Oklahoma?
Yeah, it was actually the day before the first Kill Tony. That's why.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I was like,
cool.
I wonder if he's going to leave here and go there. But he did.
I've never gotten to see him live.
But just watching him, I was like, the fact that he could take a regular story like you and me talking and then just throw in so many good punches in there.
Yeah.
And it's not, the story itself's not all that crazy. It's just all these punches are coming out of it. And I just want to get to that point.
Well, I mean, he's been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah, no, it takes time for sure.
Yeah. Have you seen old pictures of him where he has like the perm and the mustache? He was doing shows with like Bill Hicks back in the day. Bill Hicks is one of my all-time favorites. Have you listened to much of him? real angry,
couple times,
very angry, political. He's one of Heist's big influences. Him and Carlin and stuff.
Yeah, no, that old Ron where with the perm and everything. That bit where he's like, water sliding is not a fat man's sport.
Oh yeah.
Or is a fat man's sport?
It's funny because I remember as a kid, I say a kid. I think I was in college. I think of myself. I was around your age when at Thanksgiving my uncle brought a tape or DVD of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and we watched that. And I'm like, Ron White's the only one I like out of this. I never liked Larry the Cable Guy.
Actually, Ingval's probably my least favorite, but his last special he did cracked me up so much. I was listening to it at work the first time and literally stopped what I was doing and like rolled on the ground laughing.
Ingval can definitely he can be funny. I like the like the grabbing the tailpipe. Like, damn, that's hot.
Damn.
Probably the first stand up album I listened to front to back was Jeff Foxworthy because my friend.
Well, he was the guy who like made albums.
Yeah. But that was like when I was in elementary school. Yeah, my friend Jared had it. Lived a few blocks from here.
Foxworthy, though, he made me laugh so hard because it was my family.
My
family. It's not that exaggerated, but just the same kind of stuff.
Yeah, and those guys, I think that was an audience that was maybe a little bit neglected because the Blue Collar Comedy Tour was a response to the Kings of Comedy because all black tour with like Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey and stuff. So you had all of these tours, the Latin Kings of Comedy. My favorite one of all of those, though, was Patton Oswalt. They didn't do a special, but they did like a 4 or 6 part Comedy Central series where it was Patton Oswalt, Brian Posehn, Zach Galifianakis, and Maria Bamford, and it was just called The Comedians of Comedy. Yeah. Did you ever see that?
I didn't, but that's a genius lineup.
Yeah, it's because they were like more alt comics. Alt comedy doesn't really exist anymore, but it's just mainstream comedy now. But and it's funny that all of them are like, well, Maria Bamford not as much, but like Zach Galifianakis, movie star, Patton Oswalt, movie TV star, Brian Posehn in movies, TV, voice work. It's crazy.
I found this out that scene in Parks and Rec where Patton Oswalt's doing the
the Star Wars Marvel
that was
thing.
All off the dome. Like they just said go and didn't cut.
Yeah, if you watch like the 10-minute uncut version,
that was so good.
Yeah, and then Thanos, putting in the Marvel, combining the two IPs. He's one of my favorites. I've seen him. I saw him live. It's funny. One weekend back when I was still married in 2019, my ex-wife she was a pretty big fan of comedy too, but we went. I got tickets to see Patton in the Majestic Theater in Dallas on like a Friday or Saturday night, and then the next night we saw Brian Posehn at the Cap City in Austin.
I was going to say that reminds me of you said the Majestic in Dallas. Probably my favorite special, at least right now, and it's been for a bit, is Rodney Carrington live at the Majestic.
Okay, I don't.
It's
think
only
I've
on
seen
YouTube.
Really,
it's 30 minutes of stand up, and then Carrington was a comedy songs.
Yeah.
And he does a little.
Yeah.
To the songs, but I mean the stand up itself is just, he finishes it with that one.
Oh yeah, that's his hit.
Yeah, but that still cracks me up, and I can tell you it front to back.
Oh yeah,
just word for word.
I think the first time I probably heard Rodney Carrington. Well, I actually saw there was this place called Midnight Rodeo here in Lubbock. You've heard people talk about it. So it was right across from the Target on University, and Rodney Carrington did a show there, and the show was they sold enough tickets or whatever that it wasn't big enough for the indoor, so they actually roped off the parking lot. And so me and my couple of my friends actually went and stood across the street and watched the tail end of the show, and he had 2 inflatable dicks. Does he still do the dicks?
Pop up on that was probably right around that special.
So this was like in 2001, I think.
Yeah, I think that's because he did it right after he did that special right after his show, his ABC show ended.
Yeah, but my friend Dustin. So it's funny. Me and him. We rode. I think we drove from Midland to Dallas. And he put on Rodney Carrington, and I'm like, And I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I put on Tenacious D, and he did not get it at all.
Really?
He's kind of a dummy.
What a loser.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, listen to cock push-ups. It was like right after that first D album came out. He just didn't like it. I'm like, all right, well, whatever.
Each his own, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the first time I probably heard like Cross Canadian Ragweed and shit too.
Classics.
God damn, man. So, did you, prior to stand up, did you do any kind of performative theater, music, anything?
Jazz band in middle school.
Okay, yeah, you were talking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
band.
did drum set and rhythm and all that.
Nice.
So
You still?
I did up until I graduated high school.
So you weren't interested in the going band or anything?
No, I didn't want to do that because I knew that was like
pain in the ass.
10-hour days. And
Yeah.
My roommate, or one of my old roommates, was on the drum line, and we never saw him. I mean,
no, it's too much.
And my dad was in the going band too.
Oh, he was
on drum line.
Oh, so you're a legacy student. I didn't know.
Oh
that.
yeah, my parents met up here.
Oh wow, crazy! I did not know that.
Yeah.
Would that have been in the 90s?
Yeah, I think they met in '97.
Okay.
Up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he did that, and then I played drum set for a buddy in high school, like because I quit band my sophomore year because my drumline instructor was just the douchiest of all douches. Like, if you didn't directly benefit him, he was gonna chase you off, and I was like, I'm not dealing with that.
That sucks.
Stuck it out for way longer than I should have. But I played drum set for a buddy who did gigs in San Antonio. He still makes music. Shout out Marfa. That's his band. It's him and a buddy who are like a duo.
Oh, cool.
Kind of a folk meets Western vibe.
Are either of them from Marfa? Or they just like
I
the
think
name?
one of them. I think the other one is. He's from San Antonio. My buddy's from San Antonio.
Okay, cool.
I could be wrong.
It's a cool name.
Yeah. At least one of their songs I really like.
Yeah.
They don't really. They haven't put out anything bad though. Yeah. So I did that marching band. Yeah. So really just music,
Yeah.
drums.
That's cool. So, and we talked about the other day, you're going to try and hit some open mics in Colorado if you have time.
Yeah. There's at least one in Grand Junction. I'm gonna try and get up to.
How far is Montrose from like Denver?
It's 4.5, 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
closer than we are, but not close.
No, because you have to go up the mountain and do the pass and all that.
So, are you like closer to Albuquerque than you would be to?
No, because it's about 6, 7 to Albuquerque.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not a bad drive either way.
Yeah. You're a long ass way from home though.
There's an airport there that flies direct to Dallas. So
really?
I can
Okay.
get on a flight and get home.
That's
easy.
not too bad then. Yeah. It was a Southwest hub or something. Yeah. Of course.
Well, it's not a hub, but you go probably Montrose to Denver to Dallas to San Antonio.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad. Yeah, man. I haven't gotten to do comedy up in Colorado yet. I've done a lot of shows with comics from Colorado that have come down here, but I don't know. There you would think there'd be a scene in Colorado Springs. I don't think there really is.
There's a club.
Yeah.
Because Colorado Springs is basically a suburb of Denver now.
Yeah. I mean, it's seriously. I go up. I used to go up there a lot, and there I've been in a traffic jam that does not stop between Colorado Springs and like the Denver Tech Center along I-25. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's like,
So what'll be nice is with my job working golf courses, the course I'm going to be working at, I got the summer schedule, the summer calendar. Our opening day is Memorial Day, right? That's the one in May.
Yeah. Last Monday in May.
Yeah, so that's our opening day.
Okay, cool.
Our last day of play is October 6th.
Okay.
So from October 6th to Memorial Day of next winter, I'll still have to go in every now and then, but like we're going to be covered in snow. There's not going to be anything to do.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Huh.
What's nice is my boss is like, I'm still going to give you 40 a week, like pay at least.
Wow, nice.
Even if we're not going in.
Yeah. So, is it like is it a country club?
It's private country club. It's about 7-8 years old, so brand new, super nice. One of Durbin's buddies, I forget. I think it's Zach. I think his name is.
Comic?
No, he just sits at the bar with Durbin.
Okay.
Long blonde hair. You've seen him.
Yeah.
He actually lived in Telluride for a while. He said he played the course when he was up there a couple years ago. And it's
cool.
The nicest course he'd ever played.
Nice. I'm not much of a golfer. I'm guessing you are.
Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah. I I took it up. I had some friends that did it. Oh gosh, 12, 13 years ago. So I would the Rawls course. I fucking love that course.
Oh yeah,
it's a fun course.
It's looking great right now.
Yeah, I bet.
Coming from someone who works on it.
Yeah. Well, of course you're responsible for it. But yeah. So here's the thing. If you're feeling ambitious, you should see if the bar at the country club will let you like host an open mic night or something.
That would be interesting.
It would be.
Telluride has a lot of festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that,
Oh
so
yeah. They've got a film festival and okay. How far is Telluride from you?
It's the actual mountain. I think is an hour 5.
Oh, that's
if
not
there's
bad
no
at
snow
all.
on the road.
Yeah.
But it's a nice little spot. So I realized this the other day because my roommate who's already living up there.
Yeah.
He actually, if you need. Montrose is to Grand Junction what Plainview is to Lubbock.
You were telling me that, yeah.
So
That's
basically,
funny.
he ran up there, grabbed some stuff, went some shopping and all that.
Yeah,
So
okay.
It's really easy to get up there, and that's where more of the stuff is.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. So how do you even find a job doing that? I don't even know.
My boss, so I knew, I'll give the backstory of I knew I wanted to work turf care for courses because I just really like the work. Like I started working it on a whim. So I was like, maybe I'll get free golf out of it. And I did. Figured out I really like the work. And then I moved to the Rawls and probably in January, my boss was like, I know you want to start looking at jobs and stuff. And
See, usually when people go to Colorado, they're interested in other types of grass.
that is true. I am going up there because I want to live in the mountains, go fly fishing on the weekend, ski in this
awesome.
winter. It's my time to do it. I'm 22, will be 23 in July.
Right, yeah.
Let's do it now. But my boss, he showed me, there's a organization called the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America.
Oh, okay.
And so they have a job board that if your course is a member course, which every course is a member course, you post any sort of positions other than just like regular greenskeeper.
Yeah. Okay.
You post that on there. And so I scrolled up and down through that and started putting in for whatever sounded interesting. And actually, so the position I got is a step up the ladder from where I was trying to be. So there's superintendent, assistant, and then second assistant is what I was trying to do. That's really the normal path you take.
Right.
It just so happened that the guy who hired me was wanting to hire someone who's pretty green and just wanted to learn. So he's like, you're in. I'm like, cool, let's do it. So
there are not many industries where that is the norm. Like,
where like you work up the ladder?
Where they're like, oh, I want somebody that doesn't have a ton of experience.
That's not the norm at all. Like so the guy who
So you
hired
kind
me,
of got lucky then, huh?
I got very lucky. And the guy who hired me, he was initially hiring an assistant and a second. And he was looking for assistants, and none of his assistant applications were anything worth a damn.
Yeah.
And so after like 4 or 5 weeks of trying that, he was like, screw it. I'm just going to go 2 second assistants and make them both first assistants.
Okay.
And then just teach them. It's just going to work out better for me.
Cool. Okay.
And
so you might have a little bit of a Brokeback Mountain kind of thing. Discover yourself. Maybe you and your roommate are like, out on the golf course, and they're like, I can't quit you. And then
just locking,
you have to come back
into each other's eyes.
Yeah, you have to tell your girlfriend, or maybe just live the rest of your life a lie. I kind of hope that you become the what's his name?
Heath Ledger.
I hope you're the Heath Ledger and not the Jake Gyllenhaal, because he didn't have a good ending. Neither of them had a good ending, but at least Heath Ledger was alive at the end of that movie.
Well, not for long.
Oh,
he died like 2-3 years later.
Oh, did
Heath Ledger?
Oh, you're talking in real life. Yeah, wait, I don't remember him dying in that movie. I remember him putting on Jake Gyllenhaal's shirt and crying, and then the movie's over. Did you watch that movie?
Mm-mm.
I'd highly recommend it. It's such a good movie. I mean, there's some, butthole licking, but I mean, it's not that graphic. Yeah. And you get to see Anne Hathaway's titties.
Yeah.
God damn it. That's probably going to be the clip I clip. But, yeah, man, that sounds fun. It sounds like a good time up there.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Have you ever heard, you know Joey Diaz, right? Like, he lived in Aspen for a while. Have you heard any of his Aspen stories, like from when he was in his 20s?
Yeah. And then he actually said he was, when he was on Two Bears a couple weeks ago, he said he was actually, right before COVID, was looking at a house in Telluride.
Oh, really?
And then COVID happened. He was like, nah, I'm not going there.
Yeah, plus, I don't know if he makes that kind of money anymore.
He did at the time.
Yeah.
We could have bought cash and just lived his retirement out there.
Oh, yeah, probably. Well, he was talking about how he would just, like, break into people's houses and steal steal jewelry. And he goes, me and this other guy, we found out, oh, man. Being a scumbag in the 70s and 80s was probably fun.
So much fun.
Yeah. Now that's the internet ruins all that for everyone. It's like, I can.
The internet's just all the problems in the world.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, AI and what have you. Yeah. So, did you get are those the peanut butter M&Ms?
Oh yeah, you want them?
Sure, why not? I lick this hand, not this one. What is it? What kind of Dr. Pepper is that you got?
The strawberries and cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the coconut cream one. Have you had that one?
I didn't love that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm a big coconut guy.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
But, so you're graduating and getting the fuck out of Lubbock.
Yeah. Which I'll be, like I said, I'll be back. I might come back when Segura comes to the Buddy Holly in November.
Oh, you should.
It's either that or I do Red Rocks in October when Kreischer goes.
Ooh.
It may be both. We'll see how much money I make.
Go to both. Yeah, I saw Segura when he was here a little over 3 years ago. I was like on the front row. It's amazing. It was that most recent special, the Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
That was a fun tour.
I'm excited for that new one to come out.
Well, and the coolest thing about seeing a tour like that before the special comes out is I've seen Segura twice, and some of my favorite jokes he did on the tour didn't make the special.
Yeah.
Because... for legal reasons, he can't talk shit about Nike on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
He did this joke where he was talking shit about this guy from Nike.
I love that bit.
Yeah.
That story's awesome. But how about these Adidas for $100?
Yeah.
No, but I'll be interested if Ron White comes out with a special. It'll be interesting to see what makes it, because that show, he did it almost exactly an hour, so I doubt he'd cut anything.
Yeah.
Have to. But for probably 59 minutes and 30 seconds, I was nonstop belly laughing.
Yeah,
He was so good.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do is just take a couple of edibles or something and go see live comedy.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Tracy Morgan about 3 years ago in Midland, and that was the fucking... And it was so weird, because most of the shows I go to are like, if it's a white comic, mostly white audience. I saw Ralph Barbosa. Me and Rafa saw... Barbosa in Amarillo back in October, and it was, predominantly Hispanic audience. We saw Tracy Morgan in Midland, and it was like a third white, a third black, a third Hispanic, and there were like 5 Asians.
Nice.
It was in the big Wagner Noel theater there.
But
it was really funny. They were talking about how and the whole lineup was all black comics. He had a host, and then he had the three openers.
Basically a modern Def Jam.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah, it was so much fun. I would highly recommend seeing Tracy Morgan if you get a chance to.
I don't know. I'm this winter, depending, I don't know, I'm going to have to figure out how the living in the winter up there will be. It'll be a learning curve.
I have never... So I went up to Wyoming a lot. I've been to Colorado a lot, but I have never been there in like the dead of winter. I've been in Wyoming in September when it snowed, but not the cold-ass winter.
The closest I've been was New Year's in New Mexico.
What part of New Mexico?
Angel Fire.
Okay, yeah.
So it'd be close, but not
pretty
quite.
pretty damn cold.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
I got to -3 while we were there.
Yeah, growing up at San Antonio, you probably didn't see too much snow.
No, maybe once every 2 years.
Yeah.
And that was like more just sleet.
Yeah, a little dusting. Yeah.
But no, we'll if the circumstances allow it, I'm gonna go out to the Denver Comedy Works a bunch. And
yeah, Denver Comedy Works. I've never been there. That's Ari Shaffir says this is one of his favorite clubs in the United States.
That's where Sam Talent is based out of.
Well, he's in Detroit now. He moved to Detroit recently. Somebody told me that. I'm like, what? And then I listened to a podcast he did just a couple weeks ago. It was he was actually on Ari Shaffir's podcast. Gotcha. But him and his wife were living in La Junta. And he would go up to Denver. But yeah, he's in Detroit now for some dumb fucking reason. I don't know if his wife got a job there or what. But
probably more than likely, yeah.
He's big enough now that he can go anywhere.
He could settle down anywhere with an airport and be fine.
Yeah, pretty much. But Denver Comedy Works, I've heard great things about. I've been to the Improv in Denver, and that's a fun club.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think my one truly goal in comedy at this point, because again, I said no expectations coming in.
Sure.
At this point, it's to do a show in an actual comedy club.
Like a book show or an open mic?
A book show.
Okay, yeah. I haven't even done that yet.
Yeah, so that's...
I've done open mics in comedy clubs.
Yeah, it'd be down the road. But the point is to go to do a show that people are paying to see a comic.
It's so much fun being on a paid show because they're invested. This comic named Brett Duggan that I know that lives in I think he's in Baton Rouge. He said he's like paying audiences are more invested. They're paying, they want to laugh. Whereas if it's just an open mic, especially like somewhere like Lantern or Bar PM where people don't even know there's comedy coming on and
they just happen
to be there. They're not that invested.
Yeah.
But yeah, the paying audience, if they're coming to see comedy, they want to laugh. Yeah. And you have to actively be trying to make them mad or fuck with them. So
no, I don't say
that's a good goal. Yeah. That's a good goal to have.
Like I said, no expectations.
Yeah,
like
cool.
And if it all doesn't pan out, at the worst case, it was good to entertain myself.
It's something you can say you did.
Well, and it's the first hobby I've had that I truly enjoy every aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because sports and everything. Like I hated practicing when it came to sports, and like the building up to it never was enough to where the payoff made it worth it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, granted, I don't think anyone loves practicing at anything. But
guitar's fun to practice.
Yeah, but again, it gets monotonous and all that. And
scales and shit.
Yeah, and so the people who are truly good at stuff, it's enough payoff. I'm looking at Stevie Ray Vaughan picture right there.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
badass.
he probably didn't love practicing, but performing was enough payoff to make it worth it.
Yeah.
But comedy, like that's it's the one thing that I've done that's been like, I actually want to sit down and practice for a second.
And the hang is so great too, hanging with other comics. Because it's like-minded people.
Well, and granted, I'm new, but I've yet to run into someone that I'm like, oh, this guy.
There are some.
Yeah, there are times where someone will say something, I'm like, oh, really? But it's not not that I think less of them or.
You came at a good time.
I think so. From what I've heard.
Because whenever I started 3 years ago, it was a lot of the older comics. When I say older, people who had been doing it longer, that they were around, but I sort of was the first. Me and Haley and have you met Haley Newman yet? Me, Haley, and Josh all started within a week or two of each other.
I actually have a funny story about Haley, but keep going.
I'll ask you about it. I need to get him on here. He's just busy all the time. Yeah. But me, Haley, and Josh started within 2 or 3 weeks of each other. Yeah. And then Ricky came along. Do what?
Signs?
Yeah, Josh Signs. Yeah. Okay. So we started within 2 or 3 weeks of each other. Ricky started a few months later, and then Tanner maybe like 7-8 months after I started, and then it was just kind of we had more and more guys who would start and not leave. Like people, Cameo started around that time, but there were a lot of the people that have been doing it longer than me. We're doing it a while longer than me. Yeah. Curtis, I think, is one of the only ones that started I think he started about a year before I did.
Yeah, well, it shows he's so good. Well,
and Curtis also, he's works at it, too. Yeah, he's really works at it.
So this will go into that Haley story. So I found out about the Lantern, and I wanted to do it, but I was like, I wanted to go make sure I could actually do it in the sense of like I could have totally seen me showing up and signing up and not being the vibes, like saying you've seen my sense of humor and saying a little bit out of pocket stuff and people be like, whoa, I could have totally seen that happening and it would have destroyed everything I was hoping it would be. And so I went to go watch with Jenna the week before I started. Okay, and I remember seeing Curtis. And he was just sitting there on his phone, just kind of like to himself. And I was like, who's this guy? And then they called him up, and I was like, oh, I hope this, I don't know what to expect from this guy because he had just been sitting on his phone. His first. Goes up, murders. Yeah. Absolutely crushes it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Yeah.
It's so much fun to see that.
Then getting into the Haley story. So that same night, Haley went up, and he did like 3 minutes of material and then did crowd work. And we made the mistake of sitting in that one table that's kind of at an angle to up front.
Yep.
And
Hey, talk to you guys.
Haley locked eyes on us and walked up, and he like sat on top of the chair, on the back of the chair, and was like leaning over, talking about I think his dick or something, just like leaning in, just like making us uncomfortable.
He's so sweet and disarming that a lot of people, when they get nervous of the crowd work, he puts them at ease. It's like they don't. The people that would ordinarily, like that guy that was getting pissed at Ricky the other night.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, just do your set. Just do your set.
I turned around and I was like, Ricky's gonna get his ass beat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that guy too well. No. He's done sets half a dozen times, something like that, and I don't know why he got so mad at Ricky. It's kind of strange, but I mean, they shook hands afterwards. Yeah. But so what else did Haley do?
Well, that was it. He locked eyes on me, and he I played into it too, so he like sat on top of the chair, was like getting really deep into some shit you don't talk about with a stranger.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was just like, I just locked eyes on him and I just like stared him down until he started laughing.
Haley he'll be very experimental. He'll go up and like take food off of people's plate, and hey, can I have a fry? Can I have a chip? And one time I videoed him. He's like took his shoes off. He was just man, my feet are so sweaty today.
And he like made a joke about being like Heist.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. Well. One thing about another reason I kind of said fuck Cafe J. I mean, I still went for a while after they banned Heist because they wouldn't let him go up without shoes, and he's like, I'm a performer.
Yeah.
He's like, he wasn't walking around the place. He just took them off, walked on stage, did his set, and walked off. But they're like, oh no, it is not a health code violation. That is not. Heist got so upset. He called the city of Lubbock and he's like, oh, is this a health code violation? And they're like, no. But the business can say whatever they want, I mean, they can't say like no more black people. Well, now they can't. They might be able to in the future.
No, I mean. I get why
I'm always on the
Cafe
performer
J just
side.
Has always seemed like a little
even
outside
snooty, yeah.
Even on the outside of the comedic side, it seems like a kind of pretentious place. Anyways.
That was my first open mic,
gotcha.
There was a big crowd. Mm-hmm. They used to have huge crowds there,
that's what I heard.
But it just
died off.
The powers that be let it die.
Yeah.
They just kind of didn't really have too much interest in, and that's one thing that kind of annoys me because I will keep doing the Bar PM show as long as I can because I want a place for people to perform because not everybody's gonna get on book shows, but they want they want to go up and do their sets and stuff.
Bar PM's harder for me to go to because I usually work Friday mornings, and so it's hard to go have a couple beers and wake up and not want to kill yourself.
Understand. It is earlier too. I don't like that aspect.
I do like that because I can get out and be home by 11:30 at the latest. That's if I go crazy.
Shit, if you want to sign up early and leave, I don't take offense.
I've done that a couple times.
You've got a girlfriend, job, whatever.
But it is nice because I even enjoy performing when it's just the comics.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
I've learned to not plan something ahead of time because a lot of times if I planned it out, it's because I want to do the best jokes I have. Sure. But if I show up and it's all comics, I'm like, no, this is the time to do these new jokes.
Yeah.
So that's why even on Thursday it was like a lot of newer stuff, and I was like, oh, we'll see how it goes, and didn't do too well. But then again, it's not going to go well every time.
They can't all be winners.
No, and not even to say those jokes weren't winners. I think the vibes kind of were off. At that point.
It was kind of a strange night, and it got better as it went along. By the time the last two shows, I'm glad you were there last week because you got to see Hector go up. But the last two. Shows it ended really strong,
and Bar PM tends to do that. That's why I actually kind of avoid signing up early at Bar PM.
Smart,
because again, like I said, with those open mics, Bar PM especially, it's great when people just wander in and discover it.
Yeah,
and people because it's college bar. People don't really go out until like 9:30 at the earliest, and so like if you're going up at like 9:45, there's people starting to walk in, and you can actually get
that is true. Yeah, Lantern. Yeah, since we don't start sometimes until close to 9:30. We get the audience there.
I probably bet it sounds dumb or gonna ruffle feathers if people don't like it, but I don't care. The Lantern's starting to bother me in the sense that like so many people and you kind of fit in this, but you have a reason because you do improv on that.
Yeah, they show up late.
Yeah, they show up late and then ask to get on. I'm like, at least you have.
I have Russell sign me up.
Yeah, but then you still show up at at 9 when they start.
Yeah, I'll be there by 9.
A lot of times people will show up at like 9:30 and be like, Squeeze me in.
That really, well, and it's not as big a deal at Lantern because we don't have a hard out.
Yeah.
At Lantern, we have to be done by 10.
Yeah.
And people will come in and, at like 9:30, it's like, can I get on? And that's why because Sandwich is working now but I texted him when he started. He's like, dude, let me know if you're going to come and I'll put you on the list. That way you show up and can do your set. But guys will come on and the list is already fucking full. And it's very annoying and stuff, and I've told people that I don't like. No, I'm not going to put you on.
Well, and even if you can't be there at 8:30 when we put the list out at like 8:30 usually.
Yeah.
Even if you're not there when that goes out, if you're going to be there by like 9, have someone sign you up. Great.
Yeah.
Show up at 9. Show up as soon as you can.
Exactly.
But it's when I know there are people who are just showing up late and trying to get on. I'm like, it's just not quite right.
The thing that annoys me the most, even more than that, is when by about like 9:30, when the college kids start pouring in, and they've had a few, and I'm like, what is this? Can I sign up? And I'm like, fuck no. You want to sign up? Come next week, and they never show up. No, I haven't had one person ask me, can I sign up? I tell them no, and then they show up the next week and sign up. Never happened.
Yeah,
never. I was trying to get this fucking big titty blonde girl to come up and sign up because it's like, you will bring an audience. Yeah. They will come, but she I don't think she's funny, but I don't think she really wanted that much attention.
No.
So
RPM's the one that I wish we could get more people there consistently.
Yeah. It's real hit and miss, but I have fun with it, and I want to get other people kind of on the regular roster to host it because I'd like to have a Thursday off sometimes. I'll tap Tanner. Sometimes I've had Ricky host. I think I may have Russell co-host with me sometime. We'll see how that goes because it's I was thinking about having you, but then you're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
so
deuces.
Yeah. You have any final thoughts or anything?
No.
Okay. All right. So you've watched this, right? You've watched episodes.
Yeah.
So it's Breaking Hyman podcast. Feel free to not share. Do you want have a losing your virginity story you'd like to? You can be as non-detailed.
I mean, there was
or
that thing
detailed.
with my uncle when I was like,
fuck you.
Just kidding. No, it was kind of by accident.
Yeah, you fucked your uncle, right?
No, it was kind of by accident. It was an ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
We just were snuggling, doing boyfriend-girlfriend things, and just...
Was this high school?
No, this was sophomore year of college.
Okay, yeah, so I was late to the game, too.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So it just kind of happened, and...
Hey, all right.
I'm like, cool. I'm done.
Good.
Check.
You bag it up?
Bag it up. And
Good. Yeah, you don't want to lose your virginity and get her pregnant the first time out. Yeah. God, that would be the worst luck imaginable. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's fun. How old were your parents when you were born? I guess they were out of college.
I know the date I was conceived because it's their anniversary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was a honeymoon baby. Is how my mom puts it. How my mom puts it.
Whoa.
So. But
wow.
9 months to the day is their anniversary.
Wow, man. So they didn't even really have a life without kids together as a married couple.
Yeah.
I was almost like that. I think I came along just barely over 2 years after my parents got married. Yeah. So, oh, wow. Well, thanks for coming on, dude.
No, I appreciate it. This was enjoyable.
Yeah, I hope you have a great time in Colorado, and you'll definitely have to come back and see us.
As the semester clears out, I'll definitely be. Well, I'll try to be around more comedy things more.
I'm
bad about going to the weekend stuff.
Yeah, whatever. Well, we got a thing this weekend, but it sounds like you'll be with your family.
Yeah, I'll be gone this weekend.
Cool.
But I mean, the weekend after that, hopefully, Curtis hinted at wanting to get me on the Two Doc show, but I don't know if there's gonna be one in time before I leave.
I don't even think the Two Doc show is happening anymore. They changed ownership and or management or something.
Yeah,
so I was asking him about it. So
yeah,
hopefully, but thanks for coming on, and I hope everybody has a happy Easter. Thanks for watching Breaking Hyman. Thanks, Keith.
Deuces.